There's nothing like eating fresh food cooked to perfection. But if you don't know what you're doing, unbelievable things can happen. I wonder what will happen in this story. I want to tell you about the story when fish was stolen from our home and someone was poisoned. This all started with my husband's hobby. My husband loves fishing. Every weekend he gets up early and goes fishing. What fish you can catch depends on the season, so he's excited and looking forward to seeing all that he will hook on his line today. He's been fishing for years, but his catch is always different, so some days he brings home so much fish I wonder what we'll do with it. Other days he doesn't bring anything home at all. He brought home really big and expensive fish before, so I get excited to wait for him at home. Fishing began as a hobby, but he found that his bosses are also enjoying fishing, so it's becoming a bit of a business outing as well. I also enjoy it, but to go fishing you have to wake up really early. I don't like waking up early, so I just eat the fish he brings home. I also get seasick quickly, so if I was to go out on a boat with him, things wouldn't end well. But being able to relax as you catch fish must be very refreshing. Hearing that my husband was really into fishing, an acquaintance of mine named Lily began coming over to our house. Lily wanted to see what kind of fish my husband caught, so she came over one weekend. Hello, Emma. Hi, Lily. Did your husband go out fishing today? How nice. Did he catch a lot of fish today? Nope, not really, just enough for a meal. If your husband catches so much that you can't eat it all, I can take it off your hands. He's never able to catch that much. Come on, where's the cooler box? I want to choose which fish I want. She didn't just say silly things. She would genuinely try and take fish out of my husband's cooler box. If her and I were good friends, maybe I would want to share with her, but we weren't that close. And she'll be saying, take them off my hands. It made me want to refuse. That happened many times until Lily finally lost her patience. Whatever. If you won't share with me, I'll just fish myself. You'll lend me fishing equipment, right? Those are my husband's. I can't just lend them to people without his permission. What? You're so stingy. You won't give me fish, so at least you can do that much, right? I can't. If you want to go fishing, please use your own equipment. After having many exchanges like this with Lily, I cut ties with her. Not only was Lily's attitude bad, but she was infamous for not taking care of the things people lent her. She previously borrowed a children's book from one of the other moms in the neighborhood and took ages to give it back. When she finally gave it back, the pages were super dirty and many of them were even torn, and she didn't apologize at all. The kids did it, so what can I do? Was all she said. She did that to many moms in the neighborhood, so there were many bad rumors about her. Having heard all of that, I knew that if I lent her any fishing equipment, it would get back to us in horrible condition. And letting her borrow equipment because we wouldn't give her any fish was horrible logic. I wondered why she'd go that far. These days, you could even buy a lure from the dollar store, and I knew she wasn't that poor. Well, whatever. When she'd come over, she'd circle around the whole house. Oh, you have a fridge from that brand? We heard that brand isn't very efficient, so we haven't bought anything out of the concern for our electricity bill. Your husband must make a lot of money after all. Or, the house is so clean. She'd say things like that rudely and enter the kitchen and other rooms not meant for guests. She would even go as far to look inside our fridge. One day, my husband and son left early in the morning to go fishing. They got back before noon with some big fish. They had caught skipjack tuna as well as a few others. What a huge fish! Can we even eat this much? It was a big day today. If we can't eat it all, we could share with some neighbors. Yeah, let's do that. After unloading their fishing equipment and catch from the day, my husband and son went out again. They had caught so many that we definitely would not be able to eat it all before it goes bad, so I began cutting the fish into fillets and giving it to some neighbors. Even after making many portions for our neighbors, there was still a lot left. I decided to give some to the mayor, who lived a little ways away from our home. The mayor had done many favors for us in the past, and I haven't been able to give him any fish that my husband caught before. Since I hadn't seen the mayor in a while, we've been chatting, and an hour passed until I remembered I had fish to give him. It's already so late. I need to go shopping. Oh, let's talk again next time. Yes, definitely. I quickly went home to get my wallet for shopping for ingredients for dinner. I definitely locked the door when I left, but it was open when I came back. I went to the kitchen and my husband's cooler box was missing. Huh? The box is gone. I had left the cooler in the kitchen in order to cut up the fish into portions, but now it was nowhere to be found. The front door was open, so maybe my husband had taken it somewhere. I called him. Hey, Harry, do you have the cooler box from the kitchen? Huh? I haven't been home. Really? The front door was open and the cooler box is gone, so I thought it must have been you. Did someone sneak into our house? You should check if anything else had been stolen. Got it, I'll check now. I hung up the phone and began checking around the house to see if anything else was gone. Apart from the cooler box, some brand-name purses, little metal decorations I had lined up on our shelves, and bottles of whiskey had been stolen from our house. Not sure that a thief had entered our home, I called the police. According to the police, since no windows were broken and the front door was intact, someone must have made a copy of our key in order to sneak in. Only members of our family had copies of the house key, and no one had lost their keys. Since it happened when I had been away for only an hour, the police suggested it was someone who lived nearby and could watch my actions, but I had no idea who that could be. There had been a few break-ins in our neighborhood recently, and since the methods seemed to be the same each time, the police suspected it was the same person. The thief always left the front door open and stole things that could be resold for money. Though the police were sure it must be someone from our neighborhood, they didn't know who. I felt sad about losing the cooler box full of fish. It's okay, we'll go fishing again. My husband and son tried encouraging me. Some expensive things were stolen from our house, but they weren't things we used regularly, so it didn't affect us much. The gross feeling of having a stranger invade our home and take our things wouldn't go away. I hope we can find the criminals soon. I cooked dinner and cleaned, and then the doorbell rang. Looking at the clock, it was already 10:30 p.m. It couldn't be a delivery man or a guest at this hour. Wondering who it could be, I headed towards the front of the house, where someone was slamming the door and yelling. Open the house immediately! You murderer! I won't forgive you! I'll kill you! Hearing someone angrily shaking our door, I froze out of fear. What, is someone here? My husband peeked through the living room door and saw someone we knew in front of our home. It's Lily. Huh? Why is she here? She noticed us through the window and came over. She took a rock from the garden, threw it at our window, and entered the house through shards of broken glass. Stop it! What are you doing? You! I won't forgive what you did! I'll kill you! Lily screamed as she violently began throwing things around. My husband grabbed her and held her down, but she continued to struggle and scream things that made no sense. There were shards of broken glass all around her, so what she was going to do was definitely dangerous. Lily, that's dangerous, so please stop. Shut up! What did you put in that fish? Tell me! Lily continued to thrash around. At that moment, a loud voice came from our garden. Hey, what are you doing? Lily's husband, Jack, appeared. Seeing the mess in our house, as well as how Harry was holding Lily down, Jack's face went pale. Jack, what's going on? I'm sorry, something happened. You murderer, I'll kill you! Something going on? A police officer who must have overheard Lily's screams while on patrol nearby showed up. Jack and the police officer joined Harry in trying to hold Lily down. She put poison in the fish! She killed my parents! What? What are you talking about? Jack told us that Lily came home with a cooler box full of fish. Emma gave this to us! Her family didn't doubt what Lily said at all. That's right, the thief was Lily. She cut up the fish randomly and served it to her parents as sashimi. 1 hour later, her parents collapsed. At first, she thought it must be food poisoning, but she realized how serious things were when her parents gradually lost consciousness because they couldn't breathe. Lily called an ambulance, but her parents' pulse had stopped and they had passed away by the time she reached the hospital. She must have assumed that I put poison in the fish, so she came to our house. Then, that's when I realized. Apart from the skipjack tuna and the sea bass, there was pufferfish in the cooler. Since pufferfish have a sack of poison inside of them, they can't be cut safely by just anyone. When my husband catches pufferfish, we go to a restaurant in our neighborhood and ask the chefs to cut it for us. Lily probably cut the pufferfish herself and served it to her parents. Did you give them the pufferfish to eat? What? There was pufferfish in the cooler box, so I thought it might have been served to them. I don't know. Why would you put something dangerous in there? You must have wanted to kill my family. Shut up. My husband, who had been quiet until now, suddenly began screaming. We were going to eat those. Of course we didn't put poison inside them. This is your fault for stealing them and eating it without being careful. You got what you asked for. Stole? Hey, Lily, did Emma give you that fish? That's not true. The cooler box disappeared from our kitchen. Some expensive things from our house also disappeared. Is it all right if we have the police check your home for those things? What? Expensive things that were just random decorations. You should be able to give me that much. So you really stole them? I will search your house for them. Lily admitted to her own crimes. Later, Harry, Jack, and the police officer all searched Lily and Jack's house. Lily's room was full of bags and clothes Jack had never seen. Did you buy all this? He asked Lily, but she didn't say a word in reply. Of course, we also found the brand-name purses, decorations, and bottles of whiskey stolen from our house. We weren't able to take them immediately, though, since they were considered evidence from the crime. Jack was shocked that his wife was a thief and stared at the ground sadly this entire time of the investigation was taking place. Looking through the browser history of Lily's laptop, we discovered all the things she had stolen and sold online. She had sold over 300 items, so she must have been a long-term criminal. Lily had listed and sold some of the things she stole from other homes in the neighborhood. Lily admitted into sneaking into many homes. All the recent break-ins in our neighborhood were done by Lily. Lily always went after homes who didn't lock their windows. We didn't lock our windows in the kitchen, so she entered through there. Though she deserved to get punished for this, we were also at fault for not locking our windows. I'm sure she purposefully looks around at our house to check the windows. I felt the most bad for Jack. Lily should have just gotten a job instead of going through all of that trouble. The whole neighborhood saw what happened to our house and knew that it was Lily because they saw the police at her house every day. The atmosphere at Lily's house was quite stuffy, but not only the police, but the funeral directors coming and going. Even if you didn't know what happened, just seeing that made it obvious something was wrong. Rumors that Lily had killed her parents spread around the neighborhood. Lily was taken to court and found guilty of many crimes. An autopsy proved that her parents really did pass away from the pufferfish poison, so it was determined that they died because of her carelessness. Apparently, the earlier symptoms appear, the more lethal the pufferfish poison is. Based on what Jack had said, Lily's parents were affected so quickly that it probably would have been near impossible to save them. I realized at once how scary pufferfish can be. Lily tried to apologize to Jack, but he told her he wanted a divorce. Since the neighborhood found out Lily's parents died because she had poisoned them, not many people attended their funeral. People also hate Lily. Apparently it's not illegal to prepare pufferfish without a license. But pufferfish is not recommended to be eaten at home because it can be dangerous unless you prepare it properly. She better be punished for doing that to her parents. Maybe if she's charged for manslaughter? Apparently it's hard to tell the poison pouch apart from the rest of the pufferfish. After the funeral, Jack sold their house and moved away with their kids. A few days later, there was an article in the newspaper about Lily. It didn't mention that she had stolen the pufferfish from us. Jack said he had to go to more than 10 homes on an apology tour. He had to pay a large sum in damages to all of Lily's victims, but he had inherited Lily's parents' assets, so he was able to make it work. Lily didn't have a place to go or people to turn to, so I have to say I got a bit worried of how she would survive. I thought my son would be a bit sad when Lily's son Noah moves away, but that wasn't the case. Noah was in the same class as my son at school, but it turns out he had the same bad personality as his mother. He would regularly steal things from his classmates. It was a problem, but whenever teachers would bring it up to Noah, he would get violent and Lily would come to the school and complain. Noah would become violent anytime he didn't like something. And I've heard that many of the kids thought his family got what he deserved. Many kids were relieved that Noah went away. I didn't notice at first, but ends up Lily had stolen my husband's fishing equipment as well. Many husbands are like superheroes, so he had superhero logo all over his fishing rod, which is why we spotted it immediately in Lily's room. I felt sorry for my husband because Lily had obviously handled the rod roughly when she had stole it. The tip was broken off, making it unusable. Jack paid us for the fishing pole, our window, and our front door. My husband used this chance to buy a high-end fishing rod that would cost $1,400. The stolen fishing rod was the one that was very dear to him, so he was very happy with the result. Thanks for listening. How did you enjoy the video? Lily didn't just steal a fish, she ended up killing her parents. I'm sure there'll come a day where she regrets her actions. We'll continue to tell stories about people's truest feelings in our channel, so please don't forget to subscribe. We'll be waiting for you at the next video. Thank you for watching.